What's going on, YouTube? Basin Racing here, and we got some upgrades for the carts this time. So I'll show you what we got for the black cart. Went ahead and got an exhaust and a header piece. Quality is pretty darn good. I do like the fact that it has Allen bolts for the end cap, so if you wanted to take more of the baffling out, you could. It has a spark arrestor on it, so that's always good. Pretty much just a hollowed out, so that should be pretty darn loud. I like that this is a one piece, no more spring in the middle. That one's for the black cart. So with that, I also got a velocity stack, a unifilter. I know I was running a little rich on the green cart, so thinking maybe go a little hotter. I actually got a triple electrode. I don't know if you can see it, but maybe that'll make it burn a little hotter. I didn't go a step hotter, but I'll try that first. The racetrack we raced at is really rough, so I needed some shocks. We both did. It was getting pretty rough out there. These are the nitrogen ones, nitrogen filled ones you can find on Go-Kart Masters or any other. Be careful when you buy some of them though, because they're a little cheaper, but they're not nitrogen. They're actually empty. So, and same thing for the other cart. Another velocity stack, unifilter. Also got bigger jets, so when we get more air, we can get more fuel. Seat belts. Right now, we currently have the Tanakas, which is normally a good brand. They're cam locks, but after so much racing in dirt, the cams get junked up, so they don't work anymore. They won't lock back. So I'm gonna replace those with a mechanical 5-point harness. That way I don't have to worry about any kind of dirt getting in there. It will just release like that. I think that'll be much better. But yeah, stay tuned. Next video, I'm gonna put on all this stuff and do a big comparison on it. I definitely want to see if the shocks are any better. I know the exhaust will be good. Tune the carburetor. I do have some of the bigger carbs already in the shop, so I'm gonna just rebuild those with the bigger jets. And yeah, gonna be a good build. Stay tuned. What's going on, YouTube? Basin Racing Garage here. Going to rebuild these carburetors real fast. That'll be the first part of this build. And then we're going to do a little follow-up on putting the velocity stack on, actually installing it, removing the factory airbox, putting on the muffler and the header, and redoing the seat belts. Stay tuned. Alright, now I'm going to show you a quick way how to change the main and needle jets on your GY6 150 carburetor. It's not as hard as it sounds. You literally can just take the 4 screws out of the float bowl. Once that comes up, this one on top right here will be your main jet, and inside there will be your needle jet. I'm going with a 135. It's a good place to start. Some people go to 145. Either way, and it's really this simple. You want to take out your main. Just unscrew that. Don't take the whole assembly out. Sometimes you got to hold this bottom piece with some pair of pliers, but this is the stock 115 and this is a 135, and that allows a lot more fuel to come in since you have a lot more air coming in. And the same goes for the needle jet. Like I said, it's the one right there, little flathead screwdriver. Alright, now we're going to remove the factory airbox. Mine has a little more holes drilled in than normal, but to do that, you want to remove, there'll be a bolt right here that I already removed, and there's one right there. That one's kind of a pain in the butt to get to. But after you do that, right, kind of hard to see, right attached to the airbox, you'll see a black tube and a flathead on that band right there. Undo that band and that whole assembly will just pop right out. Just to give you an example, so this is the whole factory airbox with the snorkel, and there's a lot of restriction in that. Like I said, normally there is no holes. I did that to get a little more airflow before I bought the new unifilter and the velocity stack. So this whole big nitrosity thing right here is replaced by this. So you get more direct flow. It is tapered, so it kind of swirls the air. Supposedly make it a little more efficient. So that to that. Yep. So to remove the carburetor, you have that band that goes around your intake tube. Take a picture of the couple of hoses that come off your carb for your fuel and vents. And then to remove your throttle cable, there's 2 screws that screw into the side of the carburetor. I remove those 2 rather than trying to adjust these 2 locking nuts every time. Once you remove those nuts, the screws I mean, then you can just pop your wire off and take it right out. Alright, so I got the unit filter on, the velocity stack, the rebuilt carburetor. And a little trick for putting on the unit filter is it's going to come like this, and that little rubber hose, it won't fit through that bar. So do yourself a favor and just take off both of those, take off the hose, put it on the carburetor first, then get your band clamps lined up, and you can just slide that right into the hose that you have on the carburetor. So here's a little comparison of the factory one that I took off for the exhaust versus the hammerhead. See, it's the hammerhead was nice and flow. No obstructions going for like the stock one has. And what I did was, because you have to bolt the header to the can, and there's 6 Allen head bolts right there. If you're anal like me, I wanted the hammerhead logo to stick out, so what I did was I fitted the header piece onto the studs and just held on where it would line up, where the hammerhead would be showing, and put it in 1 screw and then brought it back out, because you don't want to mount the header and then have to put all these Allen screws in there. They are tough to get in. So once I did that, I just brought it back and then I was able to put it in. A little update here on the green cart. I did modify the exhaust manifold to fit an aftermarket motorcycle slip-on. This particular one is a carbon fiber 2 Brothers exhaust. As you can see, sounds really good. Like I said, I had to just weld the exhaust manifold to make it work, but yeah.